a sense of community when you're free. Rolling through the mountains, rolling through the valley, rolling through paradise with me.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Small Talk. I'm your host, Nancy Guitar. My guest today is an award-winning Colombian-Canadian film and TV producer. He's also a director, a screenwriter from Toronto. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, Orlando Giraldo Jr. Welcome to the show.
All right. Welcome. Hello, Nancy. How are you? Thank you for me.
I was having problems with my tongue working this morning.
No problem.
So I was reading through your bio, and it says like you hadn't planned on being a TV producer or director, right?
No, it was not. It was something more kind of instinctive. That when I was a kid, I always been drawn to cameras and things like that. So Sony's just more an instinct than it's more like a call than anything else. It was nothing like I planned to be.
Right. No, I know that. Sorry, go ahead.
Third world country in the 80s, you don't 90s, you don't think about that kind of stuff.
No, that's true. Yeah. But at 18, you decided to teach yourself how to use a video camera.
Yes. It was so it was probably around. My mom left for whatever reason when I was around 12, 13 years old. So she moved to the States to work and get to work, and she started sending stuff, and at the time in Colombia, I'm from Colombia, we didn't have enough, having a camera. It's like, whoa, it's like another world. So she sent us, I remember she sent a Sony camera, video cam, VHS, and I just started playing with it. I just read it, and I just started playing with the tapes and started doing videos and little things, and there was something about it that always caught my attention. I started recording my family events with the camera. I didn't know how to use it, so I just started self-taught myself.
Right. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So at some point you got into being a background actor, background performer, and on with the film crew.
Yes. So what happened was around 20. I don't remember. Anyways, I have a background. I have a degree in sports sciences. That's my major. Mm-hmm. And I was working in this gym, and I was a rec attendant. So I was in the day. I was meeting people, giving towels, and I spoke with this person named Wayne Shackwick, who's still my friend to this day. And he wanted to make a movie, and I was always write things, and hey, let's make a movie. Why not? And then we ended up doing a play, and then I met some other friend. His name is John Connis. He got me work on set, and he asked me to join acting school. And then from the acting school, I met Dimitri Dolgov, and I started doing a lot of work, a Russian friend, and my former girlfriend, Michelle Reggetti. And then we started getting to the background after that. And then I met some other people within the background world. A lot of still my friends today. And then I just started doing works. And then I moved to crew. And now I'm just a member of the Directors Guild Canada and doing my own projects. All stuff.
So, well, when did you start getting into the directing?
So when I was working with Dimitri, when we started acting in school, acting Alsa Studio, Toronto, so he wanted to make a movie. We'll make a movie. Nobody will, and I say, yeah, let's make a movie. So everyone else made movies, and that was me. So we started writing something together, and we wrote like a web series, and we did all 5 episodes. But I didn't know what to do. I had to learn everything because it was too much for him. He was the more experienced person at the time. We did a film together called The Green Triangle, and then we were doing something called Chainsaw Al. And then I think we did the last episode of Chainsaw Al, and I didn't want to do that character anymore. So somebody else came with the idea, like, why don't we do a split, the same characters that I created, a split screen. One is one character, so I was playing both, and just do small scene to direct. And he didn't, unfortunately, he was disagree with respect not to let me use his characters for that. So I just decided, okay, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to direct. And Clash was born then, my short film Clash. And I just decided to do everything, prove everything that I could do it. And that's where I started. Clash, and Clash was my first directing film.
And then you directed Pagans?
Pagans. Yeah, you see in the screen right this Pagans. And I start Pagans. I did something called Time and Space for Tenant. The Tenant movie came around the pandemic was starting, so I did something with my assistant, Celeste Marsh, and she did a short film. She was also in Clash, and then I around July when I was doing the post production on Clash in Hamilton, I worked with Deepa Mehta, so I was doing in Hamilton Mehta Studios. They allowed me to do the post production of my project in Hamilton Mehta Studios, and Annie Bayo, who is a friend. She went to the screen on another project that I directed, that I participated on, The Green Triangle. And then she has this workplace comedy called Pay Your Bill, which is at the top right there. And she had a different director at the time. And she asked me for an audition for a character named Juan Gonzalez, which I actually hated because it was a very of my culture. I mean, I don't care. It's just is going to represent any culture. I think is very important. People have a better idea of that. So, but I went just because it was close to my place. And then I did the audition, and then the director they had fell down, and I started directing Pay Your Bills. So we started 2 years ago, and we started working with the Tulsa King actor AC Peterson, who joined us in the project. We're very excited about that. So AC worked with Sly Stallone in his project, and he's excited. We're excited to have him on this project, and we were very proud that he worked with Sly. We worked with many famous actors, and we're just blessed to have him around and have Sabrina Nappet, who you can see very talented actress. Look forward to see her in more things. She's super, super talented, kind, Sabrina Nappet, and talented as you can imagine. And then one of my actors from Clash, Avion Harrison, was in the movie shortly, asked me to direct a project of his friend, and that was Pagans. So Pagans, we started directing Pagans. It was we rehearsed for around 6 months during the pandemic, all these things. And then we ended up we finished Pagans, we finished Pay Your Bill in the same time frame. So they are both in the festival circle right now. Mm-hmm. And we're very happy and proud. And a lot of people seem to like our work in those two projects.
So how do you get from directing a film or whatever, and then getting it on TV?
Okay, so that's the first question. What everybody wants when they make a film, everyone, if they either want a platform to be shown because they think they have their talent, or they want funding, right?
Right.
So that the two things that people want, they want to do their projects because they think their project is a good idea, and sometimes it is. I think is nobody. If you don't have any awards, I don't have any awards yet. I have some recognition for my work, which is like some obscure festival give us some award, which I appreciate, but it's nice, right?
Yeah.
But it doesn't say much about that. So you need to either have connections within the industry. I know some people, but doesn't mean that I know a few famous people. I work with Don Chadley, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Ace Peterson, Taz Garcia. We're doing a project right now with him, but doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean you're gonna get access to funding. Doesn't mean that. So you have to know somebody within the industry that knows people who has money. And I do have people like David Hamilton and Deepa Mehta who certainly have access to that. But why people will take that financial risk in view if you are not proven to be worth the investment, right? So you have to either self-invest, or you have to do crowdfunding, something else to find those things, or find the people who will believe in you. Now, when people believe in you, somebody believes in you and your project, on your product, you have more access to, this guy is actually good, this person is working, but they will probably more likely to give you money because you have to demonstrate in a nutshell that you can deliver what you promise or what you do. So everybody wants to direct, but it's a very complex thing to do. It's not an easy thing to do. It's very
I don't think I could. I don't think I could for sure.
It has to do with you have to have a relentless passion for what you have to really love the craft, because some people were born within I could say somebody like J.J. Abraham, for example. I'm not saying that J.J. is a bad director, but he was within that culture of Steven Spielberg, right? So Spielberg, you're Jewish and you're doing that. Okay, I'm gonna help you. Come to my place. You're fun. So not everybody's J.J. Abraham, so right? Like you have access to that and have met these tycoons of film, and they give in Star Wars, and you have to be within that realm, If you're not, you have to make your way in, and you have to do it with hard work. You have to do it, work for 22 hours and work extremely hard. And I know it sounds like a cliche phrase, but it's true. It's absolutely true. Like, you have to have a relentless, when it comes to love, you have to love
what you do. Yes.
in any field.
Yeah.
If you have that and you can translate that in there, people will see like a level of honesty, because it happens to me that tons of people, a lot of people is like looking at my work right now, or more now. I'm very lucky, and they come to me and they mean something to them. They start asking me about this, about that. So it means that we did something meaningful and truthful with love for them. They see that true and honestly, that we put a lot of work and love into what we do, and the people can see that.
Right. Do you think having been done some acting helps you in being a director?
Absolutely. So I spent around, I'm not a very good actor. I can't actually, I shouldn't say anything about my acting, but yeah, I was in with Walter. I was in Walter also for 2 years. Shout out to Walter also. And I have more. I did have a lot of problems with my accent, with my acting. All the elements of the craft were not there. But yes, definitely looking at a lot of people acting auditions and stuff like that, you get that sense of, you can see an actor, so you can see the performances, the flows of the performance and that kind of stuff. But it's something that it's a habit that you develop. Like, I watch so many films. You have to watch many films, like the great masters like Akira Kurosawa, Hitchcock, all these guys, and look at actors like Jean Moreau, like Toshiro Mifune, like some of the greatest. Everybody talks about Brando, but nobody talks about Toshiro Mifune. Nobody talks about Jean Moreau. One of my favorite actors, and you see all these European, Italian masters of cinema, Ingmar Bergman. And then you see the fantastic actors that they have, and so you can see, wow, that's acting. So you can see now, and then you can compare it with the acting of other people, and you can develop a sense of what works and what doesn't. Because, as you know, film is suspension of disbelief,
Right.
and it plays with over attention. So if you get somebody if you get your attention with someone for more than 10 seconds, and they can hook in what you're doing, you did something right. It's like Instagram and TikTok. TikTok is that they play that thing of attention.
Right.
TikTok has been successful with the algorithm to have the attention of the people with their algorithm, and they hook to this app. So it's similar in film, but film is a little bit different. Because TikTok, if TikTok have a longer format, I don't think it wouldn't work. It works because the instant attention. To do it, I know great directors and very people talented with cameras, and I have the fortune to work with them, but they are very good in short narrative stuff, like doing a video and a cool transition to this, to that. But I don't see the long-term narrative. They not do long-term narratives, because it's a different. You get the attention, but you have to give an attention to that person.
Okay.
Why staying watching that product that you're offering?
Yeah. I'm just thinking about that. Yeah. Like I used to go to Toastmasters, and I was really good at writing speeches, but I don't think I could write a book, so it's that same thing. A speech is very short.
Yeah.
Space of time, whereas a book takes a lot more writing and developing and whatever, right?
But it's something. If we talk about creativity in any field, creativity is a universal aspect of human beings. We are all creative in different ways.
Yes.
But if you develop the craft in anything, especially in film, you can definitely transfer those skills to other things, because that creativity enlightens all the other aspects that you never thought possible.
Right.
You see, I can write. I feel I can write a book. I become a much better writer because I have to write so many bios and rewrite things. My grammar is still terrible. I have my assistant with my grammar, but I'm a much better person writing things.
Right. Okay. Right.
Writing screenplays because I've written so many, so I can write a book now because I write a screenplay, or I can write a treatment, or I can write an idea. So those things, you can transfer them back to that, or the leadership in fitness. The fitness, that aspect of leading in fitness, I trust transfer that skill to film because I have to lead groups. I have to give tell my
Right.
collaborators, okay, can you do this for me? Do you do this? Can you do that for me? And how are we doing with this? You have to kind of have you transfer those skills, and then happens when you're a creative being. You can, in some of the cases, you can transfer that skill to something else, writing books, speeches, because you have to talk to you, right?
Yes.
So I have to lead a lot of meetings, and I have to sit and lead and talk to you. So
Right.
my Toastmasters don't know my Zoom meetings and talking to people, so you can transfer those when you do all these things that you do. You can transfer those into
Right.
other things.
Right. Yeah. So, yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
Before I continue with that, I mean, now you touched it. The problem, what I see with creativity is creativity in our education system. Creativity is not stimulated enough because we have in our kids, we are just, okay, this is the curriculum and that's what you have to do.
Right.
Instead of letting the kids be creative with tools, things to explore that creativity. So in terms of film, I have a couple of students, a trans person who is actually learning how to do films, and she's amazing. Said don't read books about writing a script rights. Don't read books about, because that's a structured learning, right? You're in the 20s, in the silent movies, they didn't have scripts. They didn't have a script person. So they have to learn the craft of, and there was somebody, okay, this is where you write a script. There's great directors like Stanley Kubrick or sometimes even Spielberg. They don't use scripts. The scripts are a great tool, but it's a tool.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
But you shouldn't hide your creativity. It limits your creativity. You have to let your creativity explore.
Right. True. Yeah, I agree with that for sure. Yeah. Like
then you take it to another level, at least that in my personal experience, I would say.
But it's true, when I think about Toastmasters, for instance, we were taught to do certain things. Like you give a speech, well, you have to stand and you have to move around the stage or whatever like that. And I'm thinking, well, if you're in a wheelchair, you're not going to be standing, moving around at a stage. A good speaker is a good speaker, same as an actor, right? A good actor is a good actor.
Yeah, I mean,
or a good director, whatever,
Yeah, I mean, you can see the most successful president in the United States is FDR. FDR, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. He was paralytic. Nobody talks about this. Like he was paralytic with the waist down with his polio. But what they did, it just stand for him. He always looked taller.
Yeah.
But nobody talks about these things. Like people like if you are handicapped, it should not be an excuse. We just have the first, I think, bodybuilder who was with Down syndrome just now. So these things shouldn't be. And there's a number of people who's autistic, who is extremely talented. A lot of painters, a lot of writers, a lot of has that. So creativity is boundless to nature, to things. So you can link it to just one thing.
Yeah. So what are you working on currently? Do you have something going?
Thanks. I learned this from Deepa Mehta, and I told her this recently, that I used to be, I am still their trainer. I mean, I haven't seen her in a while, but Deepa Mehta, the director from Earth, Water, Fire, she's kind of my mentor. I mean, I don't see her too much, but she told me once that she was doing in things in different stages. That was, to me, was a big lesson, because that's what I do. And I learned this, I think I read a book about that. I think it was about that guys from The Secret. I don't remember his name right now, but one of the people from The Secret, the book, the TV series. Joe Ashraf, I think, he said, you can delegate, and that can maximize your time. So you have to learn to delegate.
Right. Because
doing things by yourself is absolutely difficult. So I have different projects in different stages. I have my list right there, so I'm working on Sueña. Sueña is a documentary. Sueña is like To Dream in English. It's a documentary around the world. It's our first feature film, feature documentary. So we went to Japan already. We went in Colombia. So it's Colombia, Japan, Los Angeles. We're still working in Los Angeles. It's about COVID and artists, and it's a very, 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 very complex to do. But we're still working on that. We're doing the Japan trilogy. which is 3 videos, 3 short films that we did in Japan.
Nice.
One is called Taito Station, and we're doing the second part in Toronto, so that's Toronto, Tokyo. We're doing Reincarnation, which is something I've written, so it's part of classic Japanese film, and it's going to be part of one of the other projects. And it's part it's black and white 1950s Akira Kurosawa kind of type of film with samurai actors, and we have something called The Neighbor, which is I don't want to talk too much about it because it's an original idea, but it's like about I protected witness in Japanese, so in Japanese and English. And we are doing, I'm very excited about this one because it's one of my dreams. It's called The Pink Raven. It's a noir, it's a film noir film. We're trying to bring the classic noir from the 50s back to life. And although unfortunately, I see it and the people who's doing black and whites, not paying justice to these beautiful films. And one of my favorite films is when we're working with Taz Garcia, who's a well-known actor in Toronto, and with Victoria Givlin, and with others that we're putting that together. It's going to be beautiful, and we're working on it. I'm very excited about that one, and we're doing The Answer. It's a social project, I will say. It's not my cousin, but I gave my word. It's about a trans group who seeks in the seek over spirituality, and we've been doing a beautiful work with that one. It's more like a social thing, and we already did a film, and one of the trans persons, one of my students, is becoming a filmmaker, and she's the director, and we're proud of her and the group, even though it's not something that usually will choose as a subject matter, which I respect. But we're very happy to help this group and all the things that are happening. We have a few other films that are happening, but I'm producer on that one, and yeah, we're still working in Pagans and Payville. That's a lot of.
You're busy. Sounds like you're a busy person.
Well, I mean, but you have to be busy with purpose, because there's a busy with like you have to give yourself a time to rest. You gotta give yourself a time to live. I think is very. You have to do what you. This is what I love. Like now I start making money out of that a little bit. It's my job. It's my passion, and I try to honor it the best way I can with my work, what I do. And now when I work with the guild, I put my whole love in working with these technicians and these amazing professionals that I have the luck and fortune to work with.
Right. I did a little. I've said this before on my show. I've done a little acting in student films, and it's the crew that are the most amazing people I find. Right?
Yeah, it depends. Crew. It depends who's running the show, right? Like
yes,
the showrunner or the producer or the lead actor. So he's running the show and create that environment of driving the project beautiful. So one of the things that we do is, and it very reminds me of that when we are on set with our crew when we're doing Pay Your Bill, I do a speech. So generally they do this on set. It's called the meeting. The crew meeting, or they call it safety meeting, and when you're doing a union sets, right? So, but generally we do this thing is a classic thing that we do is just before we started. I do this thing is just the first thing it says is you have an ego, leave it outside. Like there's no place for egos in here. There's love. So we create that, nurture that space of creativity and love and respect for everyone. And we just sit there and just to create, you need to create an environment of love. Surround your group with love, and then things will happen. The most amazing things will happen when the love. There's a lot of variables to it, and there's a lot of disagreements, but you have to keep that environment of love. So I protect my actors a lot. We have conflicts in different projects of different degrees of drama. Actor is a drama queen because he has all this experience, and you have to deal with that. And somebody who is an outsider of the crew, it comes to do some stills and do some, oh, hey, make Kevin Spacey. Oh, yeah? Was it painful? Anyways, but things like that, like you have these kind of characters. That,
when everybody works together for the same purpose, it's magic, isn't it?
Yeah, it's still you keep that core, but there's variables. People come at the daily, some people who is in this industry that they are not professionals. I mean, they want to be in the industry, they want to fame, but they're not professionals. They're very unconscious.
Right.
right? So
Yeah.
they just and I've seen a lot of that. I mean, the indie world and the outside world, I see a lot of either egos
Yeah.
or other things. But whoever knows me, I think knows me that I am that person that I try to be as honest as possible. And I said to my assistants, let's look at the match. Like, if you have anything, tell me, please. Like,
Very
the
good.
stuff, I'm not perfect. I'm far from that. And I think it's very important to keep your feet on the ground to be able to rise up. And that's what I try to do, even though things are happening. But I think you have to always, it's very more important and relevant to hold on to what is real, which is the people that make things happen.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's been a real pleasure. I do appreciate you coming on the show and taking some time out of your busy life to do this with me.
This is short. This is 30 minutes.
Well, it just, it goes fast. Sometimes it's longer, sometimes it's shorter, but I try to get as much in there as we can. If we got covered, try to get everything covered that you want to talk about or you want to mention. So
Yeah.
if I've missed something, like feel free to jump in here before we end the show.
We're creating a new Kickstarter campaign. We need everybody's help.
Okay.
To bring the Sueña and the Pink Raven to life. So we need help. So I need to start promoting that. So we need all the viewers. We're gonna need your help. Please help us. We need to make this project happen. And we're gonna have a Kickstarter campaign starting soon. We're gonna do these projects and we're gonna deliver. We're gonna do something beautiful, which is when I'm gonna increase the tech what we're doing, because I have a simple camera and all that, and I can do all things with the camera. I mean, not everything that is in there is my camera. Some people put some money and invest in some good cameras, but where we are trying to promote that. It's a beautiful, bring a beautiful film to life. That's what we're doing.
Yeah. So if somebody wanted to get a hold of you, how would they do that? What's the best?
Oh, you can just do you can write me at I'm making my own film. It's kumase.film@gmail.com. You can write me to that email.
Say that again. Video dot.
Kumase, KUMASSE .film@gmail.com. It's KU.
I'll get it after the show. I'll write it down. So I'll include it under your name when I do the rendering.
Write it down and do for you.
Yeah. Anyway, so thank you. Stay on camera. I just want to thank the audience for watching. You've been listening to Orlando Giraldo Jr. And I'm going to include his information. So if you want to get a hold of him, if you want to help him, we all want to see people succeed. At least that's my thought, because that's a win-win for everybody. So take care, everybody, and peace out.
A sense of community. Chilliwack's a place to be, a sense of community where you're free. Rolling through the mountains, rolling through the valley, rolling through paradise with me. It's multicultural, you're sure to see it all. Chilliwack's a place to be, you'll see. Come party in the park, go dancing after dark. Chilliwack's a place to be, you'll see.